How about the Oklahoma Sooners, my man?
So, yeah, everybody knows at this point. I've been a big backer of this team before the season, and in the first couple of weeks, I've been gassing them up, and, I've been catching shit for it. So, takeaways from this game. Brent Venables, him. Absolutely him. He's turned around the defense. They look fantastic. Dylan Gabriel, everybody laughed at me for saying he was a Heisman candidate. Look up in the race and see who's in there now, because he was incredible. And then the most important part that nobody wanted to talk about before the season. Who's the coach that got out-coached in this game?
I mean, it wasn't even close.
Coach circles around him.
Not only did the Vikings have to beat the Chiefs last night, they got to beat the refs. I don't get it. But I probably won't be fading the Chiefs anymore this season. The NFL's got an agenda, and that's get T. Swift to the Super Bowl.
You don't table for it.
Man, I fucking love Georgia. I think this line is crazy. This spread is telling, in my opinion, and it tells me Georgia is going to kick the shit out of them.
Damn, brand new bag for pro, but I didn't pay for it. I don't like spending that cash because I'm trying to.
What's up, chat? Happy BTL Wednesday, episode 342 piece. As always, hold the fry, joined by your host, Krabs. No Javon today. It's a travel day. All right, we're heading up to Buffalo tonight for the Bills and Bucks game tomorrow, and Javon is already moving and grooving on the way up there. I'm heading up there tonight. Wanted to get another BTL in, though, for today and go over some plays with you guys, maybe talk some MLB Phillies cake. I'm sure all you Phillies fans in chats are hurting today. We'd love to talk about that series a little bit here. And then my guy, Rodney Rice, who, if you guys follow college basketball, you know how much I'm hurting today after the news that Rodney Rice will be leaving Virginia Tech and probably going somewhere else. Has not entered the transfer portal yet, but he is as good as gone. So we're going to talk about that. We'll talk about, DPO. You already know, bro. You already know. We'll be talking about this. Plenty. Okay, I need to get a sip of my heart attack in a cup there, chats. You're stuck with me today. All right, maybe we'll get Trent to pop in here late. And yes, Brad Cornelson does have a game today. Why not us, Columbia and Andy? I really don't want to bet on this guy, but we might not have a freaking choice as we get a Ron Mux Clam subby and we get a Chiote subby. Let's go, Chiote. Let's go. Sup, Krabs. It's the Wizard spread tonight. Lick me, W. Chelly, lunch mate. Sure. It's got to be the Wizard spread tonight. And we can talk about some NBA as well. Why not us? Okay. I'm super down to talk some NBA. That Wizards line is getting short. I got to play in that game that I liked a little bit better, though. And we're going to talk about that, too, once we get to NBA and have some time. Let's do some W recaps and get them over with, get them out of the way, because the squad ride last night was cake. That was literally a red velvet 4-layer cake, Grimace themed, for those stupid helmets that Western Kentucky was wearing that gave them zero powers on the fields. I thought they were a lock last night to win outright with those freaking helmets on. And what did they do? Not even close. I mean, they drove down the field with ease and could not convert or finish a single drive. I feel like that entire game. I don't know if you guys watched it or not, but that was a tough watch. Seeing Western Kentucky and Austin Reed drive down the field over and over again, and then having to punt at the 50 or go for on fourth down, and it costing them a drive. Yes, Liberty is very good. Chat, do not get me wrong. I think that's one thing we've learned over the past couple of weeks is that this Liberty team is actually legit. They've got some serious weapons out there. Their QB is a dual threat stud. It was never Western Kentucky and the Big Red. Never, ever, ever. How about a full fade for the kid last night? Yeah, Brandon fought less than 11 pitch and outs. That should hit. It didn't. It didn't hit. And how about Golden State? -3. Yeah, that should play. That should be a good look on the first night of the NBA season. Cake. Absolute cake. Len Bong, he's dropping the hammer, saying, I'm just going to say it, Liberty's the worst 8-0 team I've ever seen. They're not too shabby, though, Len Bong. Their secondary has clamps. They lead college football in picks, and they have a very good QB and running back combo. And, yeah, we got this blob over here to my right saying that was a no shit wager. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. You guys showed zero heart last night on that field at home when you needed a must-win game, and you didn't come through. Hate to see it. Maybe Western Kentucky is not that guy this season. They're simply just not that guy, pal. And we're going to start doing that segment probably on Mondays or Tuesdays going forward, talking about teams that are simply not that guy. All right, Western Kentucky with Austin Reed and Malachi Corley. Those guys are cool, but they're not that guy. Plain and simple. Cutback Mac, what's up, Beast? Coming in with a subby, 16 months. Sure he can. And let's not forget about what Ron's doing. He comes in here every single day and drops a subby for the people. All right, we're going to cut right to the chase here because we don't have time to mess around today. Only an hour-long app. I want to fill you guys in about Rodney Rice. Have you guys heard the news? Have you been hearing, what's going on in college basketball these days? Are you guys tapped? I mean, we're only about, 2 weeks away from the college basketball season starting up. I kind of figured that, whoever's on these rosters right now is probably going to be staying on them for the season, right? Who would be so crazy to, sit out this year right now and leave a team and announce that 2 weeks before the year and, sit on the couch instead of just simply playing this season? I really don't get it. It is what it is. But we've got a situation here, folks, with Rodney Rice, okay? Got the worst news ever at around 6 p.m. Eastern yesterday. Finally finished up some work, went upstairs to chill out for a minute. My buddy comes over and he goes, "Yo, did you see the Rodney Rice news?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "Yeah, Rodney Rice, he's gonzo. Smell you later. See ya. Literally see you later." Michael K. call from the Yankees game. And what happens here, guys? This guy was a former top 100 recruit. A former top 100 recruit. He was the best recruit we've gotten since Nickeil Alexander-Walker. And two weeks before the freaking season starts, he decides he's not going to play for the Hokies this season. And he can't play anywhere this season. It's too late. There's no way he's going to be granted eligibility for this season. It starts in like 2 fucking weeks, guys. So he literally chose sitting on a couch this season over playing for the Hokies, which I don't really understand. But in my eyes, there's got to be something going on here. There's no way that right before the season starts, this kid's saying, "Oh, no, I'm hopping out and I'm actually going to sit this one out this year, folks." I just don't understand it. He'd rather not play this year than play on the Hokies. Something's up with this, right? So I'm looking into it. I'm trying to see what's going on. I mean, Rodney Rice, to give you guys some background, the best recruit we've gotten since Nickeil Alexander-Walker, the 5-star we had a couple years ago, who's now in the NBA. You guys have probably heard his name. Pretty decent role player, honestly. Half-brother of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. This kid was the best recruit we've gotten since him. A 4-star, the 52nd overall prospect in the country, kid from DeMatha, a Maryland guy. He was supposed to lead our team this season. If you watched any college basketball podcast going over the ACC before the year starts, they're all talking about Rodney Rice and the Hokies being a sleeper team after letting everyone down last season. Okay? You know how the Hokies landed Rodney Rice? Because, guys, it's Virginia Tech. They're not landing all these big-name guys, especially for basketball. You guys want to know how they got him? Well, they got him because they got Mike Jones, who was the old DeMatha head coach for about 20 years, a legend in the college basketball world, a legend in just the basketball world, coaching DeMatha for over 20 years, one of the best basketball schools in the country. They get a bunch of great kids going to, premier D1 schools every single season. And we got their coach to be our assistant head coach, literally our number one assistant a couple of years ago from DeMatha. Big news. This kid was going to get all the freaking recruits from the DMV to come to VT and help build up this school because now we are a basketball school. Okay. And what happens with Mike Jones, guys? Mike Jones is now at Maryland. Okay. He's going back home. He signed to be an assistant head coach at UMD. So it turns out that Mike Jones was really just using Virginia Tech as a stepping stool to get his job that he really wanted, which was the head assistant coach at Maryland, his home school, a team that he, really respects, and it's right up the street from DeMatha where he used to coach. He's a Maryland guy. I get it. I don't blame him for doing this. It just sucks for us because now he's going to be taking our recruits, and he's already taken back Rodney Rice. It stinks. And guys, I would put my rent on the fact that we see Rodney Rice in a Maryland uniform next season. I guarantee you this guy suits it up for Maryland next year. He's already a Terp. I can see it. And guys, he hasn't even entered his name into the transfer portal yet, but it's coming. He's going to be a freaking Terp. And that makes this even worse because I got so many buddies who are Terps fans who are now going to be chirping me saying, "Oh, looks like Mike Jones just stole your guy's star who was supposed to lead your team to the promised land this season and potentially win the fucking ACC, MVP of this year." That's how good this guy is. That's how good this kid is. Okay. But in my eyes, how do we let this kid go? It makes sense. He's going to follow Mike Jones. It is what it is. And people forget I actually called this news when Mike Jones was going to Maryland a couple months ago in April. I literally tweeted out right after, like an hour after the Mike Jones news dropped saying, "Hey, Rodney Rice and Darius Maddox are about to transfer and play at Maryland." Now, Darius Maddox transferred to George Mason. He's gone. I was right about the transfer, wrong about the school. I'm not going to be wrong about Rodney Rice going to Maryland. I guarantee you he's going there. DeMatha, stay in the DMV, go to College Park, right? Your old college or high school head coach is now the assistant there at Maryland under Kevin Willard. It's a no-brainer. He's going there. It's already done. It's confirmed. All right? But what I don't understand at all is why this kid decides to do this 2 weeks before the season, and now he's got to sit out the whole year. What is going on? I don't get it. So I was pissed off yesterday. I'm thinking, why would this kid do this? Why would he, sit out a whole year and, potentially not showcase himself at all and just sit his ass on the couch? I don't understand it. There's got to be something else going on. Maybe it's, the reckless driving ticket that he allegedly got, a week or so ago. I'm not the guy tweeting out that he got this. I'm just showing you guys what I'm seeing on the feed. Cannot confirm or deny this, but maybe it was a reckless driving ticket. I don't know. Apparently, this guy thinks that's what it is. This Hokie fan of the decade who's doing research on this whole thing. Or maybe it's something else, guys. Maybe it's something else. So I hit up my source at VT, and yeah, you guys know I went there, and I'll stop talking about them here in a minute. But I hit up my source over at VT to ask about the situation, and I can't reveal who the source is, but I'll tell you guys this. I wouldn't be wasting your time with this if it wasn't somebody close to the program. I'll leave it at that, okay? Here's the direct quote from my source at VT about this. Here's the direct quote. Try saying that 3 times fast. He's been a big baby since day one, according to my source. High maintenance, they were calling him. He was cleared to play last year, and he decided on his own that he couldn't play. I don't think he would ever really fit in. Direct quote from my source, so I can't reveal here, guys. Rodney Rice was never going to play for us. He never really fit with the squads. I talk about the Hokies and just their blue-collar work ethic. They're not really a bunch of stars. They don't get the best recruits every year. And Rodney just didn't fit in with the boys last year, apparently. And when he was able to come back from that hand injury, turns out that he literally said, he pulled a Kawhi Leonard and said, I'm not freaking ready. I'm not ready. So, I'm done with this kid anyways. If he wants to go play at Maryland, so be it. Go ahead. I freaking bet. But, the only place he's going to be fitting in down the line is College Park with his old high school coach. I guarantee you this kid ends up in a Terps uni, and I have now found my arch nemesis of college basketball. When this guy gets there, I'm going to be rooting against him so hard, it's not even going to be funny, okay? Because this kid should be a Hokie, but right now the only place he's going to be fitting in is in College Park in 2 years, and the only place he's going to be fitting in this season is the YMCA for some pickup basketball games, because he's not fucking playing this season. I don't get it. Why would he not just stay and play for the Hokies this year and then transfer right after? It's so easy to transfer now. That tells me there's some beef going on behind the scenes. Maybe he did not vibe with the team, or maybe there's something going on with Mike Jones. Either way, or Mike Young. Either way, he's going to be following Mike Jones to Maryland in 2 seasons. I bet the rent on it. Somebody find me a line for that. I'll bet my freaking left nut that kid ends up in College Park next year. So be it. This kid was supposed to take us to the promised land. He was supposed to take us to the top of the ACC standings this year. We were going to be a sleeper pick. We can shoot the living heck out of the football or out of the basketball, and we're caked. We're caked. The season's already over. It hasn't even started yet. We're 2 weeks out. Come on, man. Rodney, bro, why are you going to sit your ass on the couch and go play YMCA pickup instead of playing for the Hokies this season, my man? I don't get it. I don't get it. Okay? Mike Jones living rent-free in my head after stealing this guy to go over to Maryland. New name behind the Hokies. Sure. Is it Virginia Tech? Probably not worth risking the injury. No, he's actually fully healthy now, and he has been for months. So it's not that, but we move. All right, guys. Mike freaking Jones stealing our guys. You can't make it up. God, the Maryland kid's about to go home. It is what it is. Mike Jones, who? Mike Jones, the assistant head coach at the University of Maryland. He used to be a freaking DeMatha stud there, coaching for 20 years, one of the most legendary high school coaches in the country. Okay, now he's stealing our freaking players. Hate to see it. All right, chat, shitty squad rides, and we're going to go over some plays. There's not many games for today, but let's go ahead and move and groove onto the NFL coaches tier maker. You guys know I talk about how important coaches are. You guys know I talk about this all the time, especially betting NFL. We got to do a little coaching tier here for the NFL guys, all right? We're going to get this started. I mean, we already put a couple of these dudes in here. Okay, we got Ron Rivera in his own category down there. We got the Panthers in their own cat, and we got Sean Payton in his own category too. All right, and we're going to move and groove these head coaches, and we're going to rank them based off how good they are. And I would love some help from chat as well here as we go through this entire list. We can start with Jonathan Gannon, a new coach who, I mean, to be honest with you, this guy's probably kind of underrated. I mean, he's done a much better job than anybody expected. But I don't know if that means he's a GOAT. I'd probably say, he's got to be better. That might be the category we put him in here. I wouldn't say maybe he's mids. Maybe he's mids, but he's definitely got to be a little bit better. Maybe mids. Yeah, let's bump him up to mid. He's honestly done a better job. He doesn't deserve to be getting scolded and have to be better. Okay. We'll move and groove. We'll keep him in the mid category. Honestly, I've been kind of impressed about Arizona and them being a little bit better than people expected this season. Javon, explain Mike Jones to Krabs, please. Yeah, somebody explain that to me. Okay. Let's keep moving and grooving here. We've got the Atlanta head coach, Arthur Smith, who I think is a cool head coach.
I'm going to make a play here. He hates Bijan Robinson, and that pisses me off because he's in all of my fantasy teams. So I'm willing to put him in the Ron section. That's how.
Wow. You want to put him in the Ron Rivera camp?
Yes, I do.
I don't know if anybody deserves that.
Despise Arthur Smith.
You don't like Arthur Smith, huh?
Not a fan.
I don't know if we could put him down there, though. I feel like we just put him in maybe the Panthers category.
Yeah.
I don't know if he deserves to be a Ron cat because, I mean, the Falcons have been a little bit, better than people expected. Maybe we put him in the Panthers category in between Sean Payton and Ron. I feel like that's probably where he belongs. Still Moose
I
shit.
can get behind that. I can get behind
that.
that.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Who are you putting? Yeah, I thought you were just putting Coach Harbaugh in the Moose shit category. What are we talking about here?
Goats.
He's got to be a goat. He's got to be a goat. Great dudes. I met him a couple times. His daughter played lacrosse in the same tournaments as my sister, so he'd always be at those games supporting his daughter. Good family man, great dudes. And he's brought in a great offensive coordinator from Georgia to run that offense. And my goodness, have they erupted and been so much better than people have expected. W's for Harbaugh saying, you know what, I need some help. I got to bring in somebody else. I got to bring in a W new face here to help run the offense. And it's worked out like a charm. I think he's a goat for that. I do, right? He's got the defense covered, but he said, we need some help on offense. We got to bring in a new guy to run a new scheme, and they found the right guy, 100%. Bengals coach. This one's interesting. Zach Taylor. This is when, some people think this guy's a way better coach than he is. I'll be honest with you. I don't think this guy is a great coach. I think he's got to be better. I'm not going to put him in the moose shit category yet, but I think Zach Taylor got a lot of credit for taking this team to a Super Bowl a couple years ago. But what have they done since? All right, I'm not going to blame it all on him because, I mean, they've had so many injuries and that our line is terrible, but they got to figure it out, plain and simple, and he's got to be better. So do the Bengals, and so does Zach Taylor. Go ahead and give me got to be better. That's where he belongs. We'll keep moving and grooving here. This is a tough one, too. Sean McDermott, a guy who I was very high on over the last couple of years. But this guy, I mean, I know it's injuries, but I feel like they've taken a step back here, dudes. I'm not going to put him in the moose shit category. I feel like he's got to be better, too. I don't think he's on the hot seats. I don't think he's a bad coach. But I think that Coach McDermott, he has to be better. Simple. And we leave it there. Bill's underperforming. Got to be better, Chad. I agree with you 100%. All right. Who else we got there? What coach is that on the left?
Matt Eberflus.
Is that Eberflus?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I feel like Eberflus has got to go into Ron Cat. I feel like he's one of the worst coaches in the NFL.
I almost want to give him a break.
You want to put him in the moose shit category? Because he is a moose shit coach.
Yeah, I mean, it's his first year.
Okay. It's his first year. You want to throw him a bone here?
Yeah, maybe I think sparing him from the Panthers and the Ron Cat is fine with me.
Moose shit Matt? I'm down for that.
Yeah.
Moose shit Matt Eberflus. Okay. And looks like we've got, who is this, Kevin Stefanski?
Yes.
And people will give you different opinions about this guy. I think Stefanski's a pretty decent coach. I think he's mid is probably where I would put him. You know, the decision where he pretty much sold out to go out and get Deshaun Watson has really hurt this team, I think. And that could be, you know, the nail in the coffin for Coach Stefanski if the Browns don't end up doing anything in the next couple seasons, because they kind of went all in on that. But I love what Stefanski can do with that defense. And I think he's a mid coach right now. I don't think he's any higher. I don't think he's any lower. I don't think he should be overrated. He's definitely not overrated or gassed up. And I don't think he should have to be better. I just think his QB decision that he made is really hurting him, but there's nothing he can really do about that right now. He's just a mid coach. Agreed?
That's fair. That's fair.
Okay. W's, you need one more category, Krabs. Need an underrated. Ooh. Okay. Good. Scroll to the top.
Yeah. We can put
Yeah,
that.
can you do underrated between goats and overrated?
Yeah.
Are you able to add one?
Yes, I can add that.
Sure. Add row below. W's. Yeah, we'll do underrated above overrated here. That's honestly a really good idea. Oh, you got to rename it. That's okay.
Yeah.
All right. Underrated. I see no Dougie P slander in this chat. Yeah, I'm curious to see what you guys think about him. Good. Scroll down. Let's see who's next.
Mike McCarthy.
We got Mike McCarthy. Oh, put Mike McCarthy. He's either got to go in Sean Payton or Ron.
Should I just
I feel
put
like-
every NFC East QB or every NFC East coach in the moose shit?
Somebody in
Or in
chat
the
said
Ron
it's just
chat?
fact. Okay. I think we put him in the Sean Payton category. I think he thinks he's a better coach than he is. I think he has a big name, and I think he gets credit for no reason. I think he belongs to be in the Sean Payton category. I think he's a terrible coach. Terrible coach. I feel like he's hand in hand with Sean Payton. All right, this is a tough one too. Dan Campbell. This guy gets slurped like no other, man.
He gets
Like
slurped
no other.
because he's just a great motivator. And the videos you
He
see
is
of him
a
get people
motivator.
fired up.
Yeah, but is he a great coach?
He's definitely a different type of coach than some of these guys we have on here. He's one of those morale guys.
He's definitely a morale guy. I agree with you there, but I don't think he's a great X's and O's coach. I'm going to go ahead and just say it. I think he's overrated. I do. I think he's a little bit overrated, Goots. I think play calling wise, I think with them not being able to play on the road very well since he's taken over, I think he's a little bit overrated. I think he gets too. I'm not saying he's a bad coach, but I think people act like he's a top 5 coach in the fucking NFL. And the guy's a great motivator. He can make any of his players want to run through a wall for him 100%. But my goodness, let's have the Lions actually do something in the postseason for once before we start saying this guy's an elite coach. I think he's a little bit overrated. And until I see them do something in the postseason, I'm not going to bump him up. I think we leave him there.
I think
All right.
I think that's
Yes, great motivator. He's number 1, right? He's
Yeah.
top of the list. But actual coaching, X's and O's wise, he's more like Ron Rivera, man.
yeah, I think that's a good resting spot for him.
Ben Johnson overrated too. Yeah, I don't disagree. All right. Who do we got down there? Goods?
Matt LaFleur.
Matt LaFleur. I think he's underrated. I think Matt LaFleur is an underrated coach. I would love to have him be the head coach of my football team. This guy is still trying to figure it out with his QB and if he even has his QB. But I'm always impressed with how decent and above average their defense is up there in Green Bay. And honestly, if he's able to take this team even close to 500 this year with Jordan Love and how banged up Aaron Jones has been, I will be very impressed. I think LaFleur is an underrated coach. Another great coach coming from the Washington Commanders, Jay Gruden tree. And I wish I was kidding. I can't make it up. I mean, he's a good coach, and he's an underrated coach. His team and his roster stink, but he's underrated.
Yeah.
Okay. Was that McVay?
Yeah, so did he.
McVay's a goat. You can put him in the goat cap.
Okay.
McVay is a great coach. I mean, people act like the Rams are going to be the worst team in football this year, guys. The Rams, I know they blew it last week, but this is still a team that can sneak into the playoffs. I'll tell you what. I think he's one of the best coaches in football. I really
Are we
do.
just putting all ex-Commanders coaches in the GOATs?
We should, honestly, because they had all the good ones, and now we're stuck with the worst one.
Yeah.
So, Doug Peterson. Huh. Doug Peterson. You like Doug? You think he's underrated?
I think so. Yeah.
I do too. I think Dougie gets limited respect. He's looking sharp. I think he's lost a couple LBs. He's looking good on the sidelines. He's feeling good. He's playing goods. And that Jags team, I mean, he started with nothing. And I know Trevor Lawrence has to be a little bit better. He's been banged up, but I think Dougie P, winning a Super Bowl, right, with the Eagles and that team, and Big Dick Nick is enough for me to put him in the underrated
I was just
category.
about to
I
say
think he's good.
he won a Super Bowl with Nick Foles. I mean, not many people can do that.
Come on. Give him some time down there in Jacksonville. That team is better than they've been in the last couple of years. All right. Andy Reid's got to be a GOAT.
Got to be.
No sell job needed. Andy Reid is one of, if not the best head coach right now in the NFL. He's a guy.
Yes.
No doubt. What else, bro? Brandon Staley. I think we put Brandon Staley in the Ron category just because he's so clueless out there. The guy has no idea what's going on. He has no clue how to do anything right. I feel like this team is always fucking up. They have one of the most expensive defenses in football, and they always stink. They have a great QB who continuously underperforms. He's got to be in the Ron cat because he's out there clueless, acting like he has no idea where he even is. That's
what about this?
Right
don't even rank him. He just doesn't even deserve a rank.
No, I don't know if it gets any worse than the Ron category. That might be worse than no rank. I think he probably deserves to be there. By far the worst coach in the league. Yep, him and Ron are down there. That's what that category is for, folks. McDaniels. I feel like McDaniels belongs in the Panthers cat. I don't know about you guys, but I just feel like he is just not the answer. Maybe he's moose shit, Goots, if you want to sell that. But I think McDaniels is one of the worst head coaches in football. I think he needs to go back to being a coordinator. What have the Raiders ever done? When have they ever come through or respected coins ever? McDaniels' coaching history.
When he got his first head coaching job with the Broncos, and he was like the youngest coach ever, like he was moose shit then. Like he's still moose shit now. So
let's put him in moose. He's not Panthers category yet here, but let's put him in the moose cap. I'm in for that. Wow, McDaniels.
Gotta make like a genius cat or something like that.
Yeah, Mike McDaniel. I think we go. Do we go GOAT for him? I feel like he's a GOAT.
I don't know if we can do that yet.
Underrated?
But I feel like he isn't underrated.
I feel like he's like plenty good rated. I feel like people gas this guy up. I feel like he's a GOAT. Put him in the GOATs. I'm gonna put Coach McDaniel in the GOAT category here, folks. I think he is one of the best young coaches in the NFL. I think he relates to his players very well. His interviews are great. He's got a great sense of humor. And also the Dolphins win games now. I know they didn't last weekend. That was a tough test for them on the road, though, in Philly. Come on, guys, give me a break. But this guy's brought the Dolphins from nothing to something, right? The offense he's come up and run with, some of the fastest weapons in football and offense. He's put them all together, and it's worked out great. He's a freaking offensive mastermind, in my opinion. He's got to be a GOAT coach, and he's young. I really think he belongs to be up there. I do. Missing a properly rated category, fellas. Okay, decent. Decent point. Bill Belichick. Oof. Some people could get triggered here. Some people could think I'm going to roast him a little bit. He's still a GOAT, though.
No way we don't put him in the. He's
still a GOAT. He's the greatest coach of all time, maybe in any sport. And he proved that again last week. Beating the Bills outright. Enough said. Plain and simple. All right. Let me see the next guy up.
Dennis Allen.
Who's that? Dennis Allen?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, the Saints coach? That guy might be the worst damn coach in football, dude. He's up there. He's got to be in one of these bottom four categories. I feel like the guy, talk about clueless. Does he belong down there with Ron? Should he be in the Sean Payton category?
He might be. I think
he's just a new shit coach. I think
Sean Payton's perfect.
Sean Payton is perfect for him. Yeah, and that kind of makes sense too. With him taking over his old team. Yeah, he's a terrible coach. This guy stinks. He's clueless. He doesn't know how to make Derek Carr, get the job done at all. I don't blame him. That's tough to do, but put him in the worst category, please. TMC saying that's a geek. Payton is higher. You're saying. Well, I feel like we got to leave Sean Payton in the Sean Payton cat, but that's a combo for another time.
Yeah.
Okay. Who do we got here? Is that Dable?
That's Brian Dable. Yep.
I feel like he's underrated. I really do. It hasn't been the best season for Coach Dable. I'll be honest with you. Last year, I would be maybe even putting him in the GOATs category after the clinic he put on getting that team to the playoffs. But I think right now he's got to be underrated. And I think this Giants team is not done yet. If they're able to do something or stay afloat or be near 500 with Tyrod Taylor taking over right now, I will be very impressed. He's got to figure out his QB, but I think he's a very good coach. And that Giants defense, I swear, they always play better than they should. And I'm not saying that was him. I know This guy's more of an offensive dude, but as soon as he gets his QB, I think the Giants will be back in action. I think he's one of the best, younger coaches in football. I think he's underrated. I do. Who's next?
Robert
Can't see the
Saleh.
bottom there. Ooh, Salah. I think he's overrated. There, I'm going to say it.
Yeah,
I think he's a little bit overrated.
I think that Dan Campbell was on Hard Knocks last year, and he got overrated. And then now Robert Saleh was on Hard Knocks this year. Maybe there's a trend there.
Yeah.
Because they make
people are just, think these guys are the best, coolest dudes ever after watching them, on Hard Knocks, and they might just not be the guy yet. Straight up. I think he's a little bit overrated. I don't think he's a bad coach. I'm not saying he's new shit or mids. He's better than mid, but I just think people think he's, elite with that defense. But until I see the Jets, and I know they've had the injury bug this year too, but until I see the Jets have some sort of offense, consistently going, I can't really say this guy is underrated or good. He's got to be overrated a little bit. Okay. Dubs. Let's keep moving and grooving here, dudes. Sirianni, dude, he's underrated. He's close to being a GOAT too, but he's got to be underrated. I hate to say it, and I hate to push, but you know what? He said it perfectly the other day. If other teams could do it, they would be doing it. And that's the perfect thing to say, because other teams are trying to do this shit, Goots, and they can't. And Sirianni knows that. And he's, witnessed his team getting roasted for it over the past couple months. But if other teams could do it, they would. You're going to punish the Eagles for coming up with something that works when no one else can do it just because they have a really strong, QB who can fucking deadlift 600 pounds. You're going to punish them for that, and Sirianni for coming up with a play that works. I hate to say it, and I hate the Eagles, but that is the right way to think about this. And he is an underrated head coach. I would give my left nut to have him be the coach of the Commanders, straight up. Sirianni's a great coach. He's close to being a GOAT, too. He's close to being a GOAT. We knew he was going to be a good coach, Goots, when he had the worst intro presser of all time for a head coach. The worse the intro presser is, the better the coach ends up being. Just look at Bill. He's been doing it for years.
Also,
he's a football guy. He's a weird.
I relate that to Bryce Harper. He said the Nationals in his Phillies press conference.
Yeah, he said, I just want to bring back a title to DC, right? Well, honestly,
now they're
see how that's worked out. We got a title in DC, and he doesn't have shit. Okay. Let's power through these last couple here. Who is that? Tomlin?
Mike Tomlin, yeah. Any coach that tries to, do you remember when he stepped out in front of Jacoby Jones in that game? Trying to block him from returning that kickoff?
Yeah, Goots, but I also know that you hate this guy's guts.
He's a cheater. Cheater.
Goots hates his coach's guts as a Ravens fan. Yeah, he's probably a cheater, and they probably all cheat, to be honest with you. He's just stupid enough to do that on TV in front of everybody.
John Harbaugh, stand-up guy. He's not cheating.
Okay. Let's scroll to the top. I need to see those categories again. Right. I think he's probably a GOAT or he's underrated. The guy hasn't had a losing season ever, dudes. You got to tip your cap. However he's doing it, and he hasn't been thrown in jail or fired yet for cheating. So I think he's probably got to be a GOAT. I'll be straight up with you guys, or underrated. But he's, I hate to say it, but they do it every fucking year, dudes. It's like, how are the Steelers going to be good? They got nobody, and next thing you know, they have a winning record again, and they're in the playoffs. It's like clockwork. I'm jealous. I am. I'm jealous.
Yeah, I do have to respect him. You're right. Absolutely.
You got to respect him. You do. And yeah, it's bullshit. He's tripping people on the field, but come on. He's a GOAT. If you don't have a losing season ever as a coach, you're a GOAT. It's as simple as that. Okay. Pete Carroll. Am I going to piss some people off here? I think Pete Carroll's overrated. I do. I think he's been an overrated head coach since he decided to not run the ball with Marshawn Lynch back in the day in the Super Bowl. How do you make that call? How do you make that mistake? I don't understand it at all. And I think he is an overrated coach. Until I see Seattle do something, I think Geno Smith had an outlier of a great season last year and carried this team to success. But this year, they've kind of taken a little bit of a step back. Not saying Seattle's bad. They've been okay. But hate to roast, old Pete here, but I just think he's overrated. I think he's lost his fastball a little bit. And I don't believe in the Seahawks team. I really don't. I think his defense carried him for years. And I think right now, without Russ in his prime, it's going to be tough for Pete Carroll to figure out a way to get that team to the playoffs again. Maybe he'll prove me wrong.
Maybe.
Maybe he will, but I just think he's a little bit overrated. I'll be honest with you guys. I do. Todd Bowles, I think he's a moose shit coach. I think he's a moose shit head coach. I think he'd be a great defensive coordinator, but I think he's a terrible, terrible head coach. I don't think he knows how to motivate. I don't think he knows a lick about offense. I think he should go back to being a DC, respectfully. That's my opinion, and I think Javon would probably back me up on that too. Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel really hasn't won anything, but he is an underrated head coach, I will say, and I think that's where he belongs. I mean, the guy said he'd chop his own J off to win the Super Bowl. That's probably enough to put him in those top two categories as is. But over and over again, week after week, this guy bounces back from bad loss after bad loss and finds a way to pull off an upset or keep a game close or win outright as a dog. That's what this guy does. All he does is take a moose shit team who's disrespected and has nobody besides Derrick Henry and find ways to win. And he deserves way more credit than he gets. Mike Vrabel is one of the best coaches in the NFL. Guys, look at their roster. They don't have any business winning a single game. Any game they do, I think it's Mike Vrabel deserves the credit for it. I think he's an underrated head coach. I do. Motivator. I think he knows what he's doing out there, and the guy wins. He doesn't win in the playoffs. That's why he's not a GOAT. But he wins in the regular season. I think he's underrated.
We're going to see Will Levis this weekend as well.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. Very curious to see how that plays out.
Yeah.
Okay. Who else we got? Should be only a couple more here, I believe. Yeah, is that
Kyle?
Yeah, it's hard to see the bottom there. Kyle Shanahan.
Yep.
He's so good. I don't know if he's a GOAT yet, but he's such a good coach, man. He's such a good coach. What do you think, Goods? Is he a GOAT yet, or is he underrated until he, actually wins something? Probably underrated.
Yeah, but if we're going to say Mike McDaniel's a GOAT and he hasn't won anything, I feel like we have to put Kyle here.
Okay, let's put him up there. He's a GOAT. If I could handpick any coach, I think, in the NFL, I'd probably pick him just for the longevity, like his age. I'm not going to pick, Andy Reid or Coach Bill Belichick because they're a little older, but I think I picked Shanahan, which is hilarious because he was, with the Commanders, just like all these other freaking GOATs at one time. Can't make it up. But Shanahan is a genius. It runs in the family. He's probably has the best, coaching mind out of any of these guys on the board. Maybe besides, Andy Reid. So it's got to be Shanahan, and they will win a Super Bowl soon. What he's able to do with Brock Purdy in that system is unbelievable. I know Purdy's been struggling a little bit recently, but guys, look at what the 49ers have done over the last couple of years. They've built up an absolute wagon of a team that really has no holes. And they built up an incredible system for their QB where they don't need, a Tom Brady. They don't need a fucking GOAT in there to, be successful, and they can save coins at QB2, which is huge for a team success, being able to spend that money elsewhere. Guys, Shanahan's a GOAT. He is. He's
Absolutely.
a GOAT. Yeah. All right. Yeah, his players always get hurt because he overplays them. That's the only qualm with him. Yep. All right. We've got Nico.
Yeah, it's a Miko.
Okay. Let me see here. Where do you think he should go, man?
I mean, Texans are pesky good this year, and they weren't.
DeMeco Ryans kind of an underrated coach?
He might be.
Is he kind of an underrated coach?
Let's see what Chad thinks.
I think he's kind of underrated. I think they had Lovie Smith, who was one of the worst coaches ever there a couple of years ago, and I think this guy's come in and he's really taken over the reins, and this team is a little bit better than people expected. Maybe it's just CJ Stroud. But I think he's a little bit underrated. I really do. I've been pretty impressed with the Texans. Texans roster is underrated. Yeah, I think he's an underrated head coach. I've been very impressed. Small sample size, though. Lovie Smith never gets credit. I mean, he was losing on purpose at the end of the year last year, man. He doesn't deserve any credit, in my opinion. Yeah, I think he deserves to be as an underrated coach. I think he's pretty decent. I do.
Yeah.
Last couple. Let's keep moving and grooving here. Is that Kevin O'Connell? Oh, yeah, man, he's so good. He's so good. He's not a GOAT. He's underrated. He's so good. I mean, another Manders coach. Oh, you don't like this guy. You don't like this guy.
It's not that I don't like him. It's just like, I don't know.
I mean, he's still learning to be a head coach, I'd say, but I think he has one of the best young offensive minds in the game. Maybe we put him in the mid cats.
I think he should be in mid. I mean, like,
okay. I think he's still learning how to be a real head coach here, but I love the guy's post-game speeches, and I love his offensive play calling. I think it's genius, and I think he's a very young head coach, and he's going to really come into his own and be one of the best young minds in football. I really do, but I'm with you guys. We can put him in mid for now. They've really underwhelmed this season. They got lucky as heck last year. Let's see him actually put up a clean, legitimate full season first before we put him in the underrated category. I'm good with that. But keep your eyes on Kevin O'Connell. He's a great young coach. Okay. All right, folks. And then we got this guy. Who's that?
It's the Colts head coach. The Stipends, I think.
Stipend?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that guy's probably got to be down in the Panthers category.
Colts?
Just like useless and just not really great.
Yeah.
People think he's solid. People think he's a great coach. Oh, Chat's about to lose his mind. I don't know how I feel about Stipend. I don't know. Nobody knows who that is in chat. Yeah, he's not bad. He's good. Easy or tripping. He's great. Very solid. He's so good, people in chat are saying. He's been great this year. I mean, the Colts have been a little bit better this year.
They've been pesky, for sure.
Yeah, maybe we put him in the mid category.
I mean, when you beat the Ravens, you got to be a good coach. You know, it's hard.
Good offensive coordinator, yeah, but that's not what this is about. This is head coach overall. Like, I kind of roasted Todd Bowles for being a great defensive coordinator, but a moose shit head coach. So why don't we put him in the mid category? Okay. Or got to be better, whatever you think is best. Okay.
I think mid's good because I think the Colts have honestly overwhelmed rather than underwhelmed. So
okay.
Yeah.
All right, chat. I mean, we got a good amount of goats here, but I feel like those are by far the best coaches in the NFL. We got a couple underrated guys in there. I mean, Sirianni is so underrated in my opinion. My body will not let me put him in the GOATS category because he's an Eagles coach, but some could probably argue for that. I think Vrabel is very underrated too. Those guys are kind of leading that category. Overrated coaches, you guys won't like this, but three big name dudes who I just don't really think are as good of a head coach as people expect. They're not bad at all. They're still above mid, but they're just a little bit overrated and overvalued. And we got a couple other mid coaches here who need to really step it up. We got a couple got to be betters. I mean, I think that's honestly pretty freaking fair putting these two guys in the got to be better category. Especially, Sean McDermott with the Bills. What the heck has happened to them? They got to be so much better. I was so high on this coach, over the years, but this season they've really stunk. And then moose shit head coaches. I mean, guys like Todd Bowles, I'm sorry to say it, you're just a moose shit head coach. Sean Payton category, I feel like explains itself and makes perfect sense with those three guys in that list. And then we got the Panthers category with just guys who just don't really make a whole lot of sense here and guys we just don't like. And then Ron Rivera category, which is, the worst, most terrible coaches in the NFL. I think it's got to be these two guys. Chad, can you at least agree with me on that? And Javon saying Todd Bowles, defines moose shit. Yeah, he does.
Javon too. There we go.
Good. Ron Rivera and Staley belong in the Ron category, the worst head coaches in football, and they should have been fired yesterday. Still kind of wondering how they have their jobs, and they look like they're losing their minds and don't really know what's going on around them. I'd say that's definitely a serious issue, and those two guys belong in the Ron category. I think that's fair. Okay. W's. Yeah, agreed on worst coaches. All right, at least we can agree on that, chat. McCarthy is just as bad as Ron. He's terrible. I agree, but I feel like he's just a Sean Payton, right? He's a guy who probably thinks he's great. Probably talks about himself all the time, roasts other coaches for no reason behind their backs and then gets embarrassed. I feel like that's something he would do. All right. Krabs, where are you at the Bills game? Yeah, we're going to the Bills game tomorrow, folks. W's, me, Javon, Big Dave. We're going to the Bills game tomorrow night. Bills Bucks, super excited. We're going to go do some wings, some wing stops, no pun intended, tomorrow during the day. Probably review a couple wing spots up there, dudes. And then hit the tailgates early on Thursday nights and try to, walk around, get as much good content of these crazy tailgates up there in Bills Mafia country because I've seen the videos. I mean, they are insane. I need to get up there and see that myself, chat.
Yeah,
I'm sure you guys want to see some videos of people jumping on tables and lighting themselves on fire and shit.
You might need to jump on a table yourself.
Yeah, I would jump on a fucking table. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I would destroy that table. I'd obliterate it. Are you kidding me?
People are asking about wing nuts.
The amount of gravity that I'm freaking bringing down that table. God forbid I'm jumping off a car or something. I mean, I might get hurt. Straight up.
Yeah.
Find the pizza guy. You're saying in chat, yeah, I'm going to have to go check out Wingnuts chat. I need to see if it's actually good or if people just gas it up because Barstool. So I will be the judge of that. Okay. We'll definitely hit Wingnuts 100%. Big Dave table jump inbound. I mean, that would be scary.
That would, yeah.
That might create some sort of sonic boom.
It might create an earthquake.
That's like when the Avengers land and they're like fist hits the ground and they look up and it's like a really intense scene. That's like what would happen. Dave would probably destroy the ground.
Yeah.
Can we talk about today's slate? Sure. I mean, you got any picks on these games today, my man? You let me know because they're absolutely moose shit. And I really don't want to force plays on you guys after some losers last night. Okay. Are you boots on ground Sunday crabs? Yes. Boots on ground Sunday as well. Going to LA for that game, Bears and Chargers on Sunday with Trent. So that'll be fun. Big time weekend coming up. Chat, we could talk about some college football. Got to mention that BT line because it's absolutely hilarious and ridiculous. I guess they're winning tomorrow night. That's kind of cool. What the fuck is up with that line, chat? Hokies -2.5 against Syracuse. Are you kidding me? I guess Kylan Drones is him. Wild. All right, scroll back up though, dude. So I'm going to look at the games for today. We've got Jacksonville State and FIU. I mean, I think Jacksonville State's probably taken enough of my coins, chat. I'm being completely honest with you. I'm done fading them. They're up to, 9 most places here. I think they win this game big. FIU is atrocious. I am done fading Jacksonville State. They find ways to win. Smothers should be healthy enough to play this entire game, the majority of it at least. I am good on fading that. If anything got in my head in this game, I'm taking the over. I think Jacksonville State might hit the over themselves. Okay? Now let's cut the shit and let's get to the freaking play you guys have all been waiting for. All right? Sam Houston State. 0-7. Coached by Brad Cornelson as their OC. Got to be the worst head coach or worst offensive coordinator in the game. Has to be the worst. Number one. He ruined BT's program, and now he's down there ruining Sam Houston's program. Anyways, this team hasn't won a freaking game yet this season, and I'm not saying they're playing against Alabama tonight, but they're playing against UTEP, who is not much better, but they are better. Okay? Guys, if Sam Houston State can't win this game, they should not have moved up to FBS. They should have to be sent back down to the FCS, plain and simple. And I know you guys aren't going to want to take Sam Houston, and I know they're going to be running the stupid jet sweeps and these terrible play calls from Coach Brad Cornelson. But Sam Houston State should have fucking won that game last week, boys. You guys watched it. I know you know that. And we're just going to give up. It's like the meme of the guy, picking the freaking grounds. And the one guy gives up and turns around, looks all sad. The other guy is like really close to getting the freaking diamond. It's literally that gambling meme. We're going to give up right now when they're a favorite again this week against UTEP, a team who's actually bad. I don't know, man. I feel like we got to run it back one more time with Sam Houston State. I think we got to run it back one more time with this moose shit school and this terrible OC. And UTEP just won by 10. Chat, you don't got to tail it. All right? The squad rides, I think we're coming off of 2 straight losses. I'm not even saying you got to vote for this one in there. All I'm saying is Sam Houston State is winning this football game tonight. That's all I'm saying. They are winning this football game tonight. And you know what? The under's going to hit too because these two offenses are terrible. They are freaking terrible, these two offenses. They are moose. And that's why the total in this game is down from 38 to 37. So go ahead and grab the under. Go ahead and grab Sam Houston State on the spread. Grab them on the ML if you're nuking it. And go about your day because Sam Houston State, we're not giving up. This is a perfect way to summarize it, Javon. Sam Houston State is literally Wyoming basketball at this point. We have to bet them again. We have to bet them one more time responsibly. We don't have a choice. We don't have a choice.
If we put them in the squad ride vote and they win, people might riot.
Well, I'll leave it up to them. Okay. Can you guys bet on Sam Houston State on principle just to root against them? F them. Yeah, I'm not going to fade them, Richie. I really want to take them today because I'm a freak and I think they're going to win. Yeah, people do forget. I did say this last week. If I ever try to bet on this team coached by Brad Cornelson again, please shoot me. Yeah, so I'll be staying indoors today. Please keep the keep those weapons on with the safeties on because we're betting them again. One more time. One more time. Can I make a promise to you guys though? Let's see who they play next week. I'll make a promise to you guys on here so we don't have to deal with the Sam Houston bullshit every single week. Okay. Looks like they play Kennesaw State next week. Oh my God, they're actually atrocious too. And that's an FCS team that they should definitely beat, I believe. All right, we'll make a deal here. If Sam Houston State doesn't win this week, we will not bet them anymore the rest of the season. If they don't win tonight, we will not bet on Sam Houston State the rest of the season. I don't care if they're playing Kennesaw State. I don't care if they're playing the School of the Blind. It doesn't matter. We're not going to bet them. Plain and simple. All right? If Sam Houston State loses today, we're putting them on the ban list, and we are not going to bet them anymore this season. I don't care who they're playing. I don't care what the line says. It doesn't matter. 24-hour stream if they lose tonight. Bro, I'm going to Buffalo tonight. I'm literally going to Buffalo tonight. I got to meet up with Dave and Javon. All right? The thing is, even if they lose tonight, they will win next week. Kennesaw is so bad. Well, you know what, D-Wade? It doesn't matter because this is the last chance we're giving them. All right? If they lose, you have to bet the Commanders 10-U against Philly. I kind of already want to do that, Coastal. I kind of already want to do that. Okay? Sounds like when my dad was going out for smokes and said, I'll be right back. Yeah, I totally understand that. Do it next week, 24-hour stream if they lose. Bro, I got to go to 1,700 games in the next week or so. I will do another 24-hour stream again, but I'm not ready to promote or promise that yet. Okay, can you guys bet? Can you go bug Chelly about that? See if you can get him to do it. Commanders always play the Eagles close. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Sam Houston State minus 180 is the most moose shit line ever. Yeah, it is. Can I take you guys to the NBA real quick? Let me take you guys to the NBA. If they lose, go as prime for Halloween. Javon, man, I'm really not trying to get canceled, brother. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if I could do it either. I don't know if I could live with myself. Dressed up as Coach Prime, doing the freaking watch, Shelly, sure. I would do it with Trent. If Trent wants to be Coach Prime, and I could do Shador with the watch. We could do that at the Chargers game. Shelly put his meat on table, and he pulled through. Yes, he did. My name's Jeffrey. Yes, he did. Got to respect it. Got to respect it. No, if they don't lose, you place a Super Beluga whale on them next week. Ooh. Okay. This is a Sam Houston sell. What? This Sam Houston sell was a bit, right? No, it's not a bet. We're literally taking them today. I'm going to put $250 on them, one unit. Yep. Not a bet. This is legitimate. We are taking them today on the spread. Buy a Sam Houston jersey. Come on. Guys, you know Trevor Williams is going to be balling out there tonight. Best linebacker in football. Sam Houston State, #1. Absolute beast. Absolute beast. Okay. Let's take you to the NBA real quick. I got one play that I want to talk about. Hearing a lot of people talk about the Wizards today. And I don't hate the Wizards on the spread +5. I don't at all. But I'll tell you what I like more. The over. Let me tell you why I like the over. Because we don't play a lick of defense. All right. If you take a look at our roster this season, besides Gafford in the paint, who is about as slow as a freaking parked 18-wheeler, nobody on this team plays a lick of defense. All right. And these guys can score, and Kyle Kuzma and Jordan Poole are going to be shooting the rock. Plain and simple. Okay. And this totals up almost 5 points. And I know the Wizards are sharp. That spread is also down a couple points as well, which is a great sign for this over, I think. And the Pacers, I mean, they're at home. They're going to be putting up some points tonight against one of the worst defenses in the NBA, the Wizards, by the way. I mean, it's hilarious. We hired our coach to come over from Denver to figure out how to coach us up and play defense, and he has yet to do it. He really has yet to do it. If his dad wasn't Wes Unseld, he would have already been canned. If I'm just being frank. I'm being frank and being honest as a Wizards fan. Okay? He would have already been canned if his dad wasn't Wes Unseld, the greatest Wizards player of all time. Okay? But you know what? We don't play any defense, and Wes Unseld Jr. does not know how to coach a freaking single aspect of defense in his body. No. Okay? And good bet, Darian, getting the Wizards +7 last night. I'll tell you what, Kyle Kuzma and Jordan Poole are going to put up 30 burgers themselves tonight, and this game is going to soar over. Yeah, Jordan Poole might shoot the rock 30 times, straight up. And Halliburton's going to be diamond the entire time. Give me the over in this game. We're going to get plenty of points between the Wizards and Pacers. That totals up. The splits are sharp. That's my favorite NBA play of the night. All right. Let's do the squad ride, folks. Let's get to work. We got to put Sam Houston State in here. I hate to do it. I'm not happy about it, but we got to put him in. We got to put him in. Sam Houston State -3.5. Got to put him in. I think we put in the Jacksonville State FIU over. Over 48.5. I think we put in that Wizards over. $235.5. What else, chat? If FIU can score a point. You said no more of their coach. One more time. One more time. Yeah, Dig Dad, you're probably right, man. You're probably right. I think we just roll with these 3 plays and we go about our day. I don't want to force. Okay, I'm not super dialed into the NBA yet. Don't want to force you guys with some picks on that yet. I think we give 3 plays, 3 winners for the squad ride, chat. Here's the deal. If we bet on Sam Houston State today, whether it wins the squad ride or not, but if we bet on Sam Houston State today and they don't cover and they don't win, I will buy a Sam Houston State jersey and wear it for a week on stream, looking like a fucking idiot. I will figure out a way to get one. I will buy one. It's probably going to be very expensive, and I will wear it on stream for a week, looking like a fool. All right, and that'll be a reminder to myself to never bet on this team ever again because they're terrible. But they're favored again tonight. They're home. Oh, Good's already found some. Yeah, I will buy, and this is our guy's number 2. This is Trevor Williams. I should probably buy this anyways. I will buy a Sam Houston State jersey and wear it for an entire week when it gets here on streams. The whole week. People are going to be asking me what the fuck I'm doing. It's probably going to reek too. It's going to stink because I run hot, chat, especially on these streams when I'm up here getting angry talking. I run hot. I got to put a Cornelson custom name on the back. Fine. Deal. I'll put Brad Cornelson's name on the back of the jersey, customized. I will pay for it, and I will wear it for a week. I will wear it for a week. All right, chat. So gross. All right. And hey, guys, the NBA's back. We dabble a little bit with some NBA plays today, talking about that over in the Wizards game. And make sure you guys get your votes in the Twitch chat for the poll, BTL squad ride. Hurry up. Go, 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 go. You get about 1 minute left. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. And while we wrap up here, chat, Props.cash has a very cool new NBA season-long tool. I believe it's $100 for the year. If you're looking to get involved and bet prize picks, or if you're betting props on the books and you're not using Props.cash, you need to figure it out. And by the way, squad ride tonight, the Wizards over. You guys are scared of Sam Houston. That's soft. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. Here's the deal tonight, folks. You got to get with the over in this Washington game. I'm cool with it, but please don't let Sam Houston get swept under the rug. Please don't let it get swept under the rug. Please, 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 please. Do not let it get swept under the rug, chat. All right? But check out Props.cash. They've got a new $100 for the NBA season deal going on right now, and you can use promo code BOOKIT for some coins off, okay? Go check out Props.cash and start hitting prize picks entries. Go check out Props.cash and their new NBA season-long promotion they're doing right now for $100. And go hit more bets, folks. I promise you it's going to help you hit more bets and hit more prize picks. I promise. Okay? Chat, we're taking the Wizards and the Pacers over 235.5 tonight. That's a squad ride, first NBA play of the season. UTEP is the play. UTEP is the play. I will expect a slip from the real man Hezbollah and from Segala under my tweet of the Sam Houston State -3.5. W's. Love to see this. Guys, go check out Props.cash. I promise you, it's going to help you hit more bets. Plain and simple. All right, squad ride tonight. Wizards over, and we'll catch you guys in Buffalo for Thursday Night Football tomorrow. All right, stay posted for content. Okay, we're going to be up there, me, Javon, and Dave. All right, for this Bucks and Bills game. I'll catch you guys. All right, we'll be running BTL this week. I promise, Friday at the minimum. And we'll catch you guys on here, same time, same place. We'll be soon.